So making a plate is a little bit different from making a bowl or a cylinder because the base is wider. So when you are centering, you might want to push out so that the base will be wider. Okay, and then start to drill the hole. So after initial drill, in the meantime, since I'm making a plate, so I'm pushing the rim a little bit lower. Okay, push it down this way too. And check to see if the thickness is right. Okay, a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to push the inside corner toward the right hand side. I use my thumb. The finger is holding on the outer part to support it, brace it. And then this finger, the left and the thumb, is pushing the wall. And slowly spread it out. Before I go further, I want to come back here to smooth the bottom. And keep on pushing it until the wall is a bit thinner. And I'm using the finger tip to move the clay. It's easier. Small area create more pressure to the surface. Right, and then the wall here, I'm pinching and then slightly move up and then a little bit outward since I'm making a plate. Right, so that's good. And then I'm going to compress the bottom. Now using my 4-inch sprit. To wet it. hold it 3 fingers here so that it doesn't slip up from my fingers. And then for making a plate, you might want to hold the rib a little bit more horizontal this way instead of using that. If you're making bowl, you could go a little bit straight, but when you're making a plate, hold it more horizontal. Right, so compressing it. A lot of texture from the wood, a lot of lines from the wood texture. So I will use a metal rib to smooth it out. The metal rib versus the my wooden rib is a little bit different, because the wooden rib, there's a curve here, so even if you cross the center, you will be fine. But if you are using the metal rib, if you cross over, your rib is gonna gouge the clay, and then you'll see that the unpleasant mark there. So if you are using something that is thinner, make sure you try to compress it away from the very center, maybe 1/8 of an inch away from the very center. So if your wheel is spinning counterclockwise from there to your right, and slightly bending the rib, about 1/8, 1/4 inch away from it, and slowly moving. Right, and then I like to have a little bit of a rim here, a little bit wider. So what I'm gonna do is my index finger kind of push from the outside part, and the fingers inside push that against my index finger. So make a little wider rim, and then use the metal rib to compress with my right finger support underneath. Right, so about 3 pounds. Most of the clay is for the base. The base I leave a bit thicker, a little bit more than 1/4 inch. I will show you the trimming. All right, I'm ready to trim this plate. I made 2 days ago. I let it dry slowly, and the rim actually dry faster. So I constantly come into my studio and then brush some water over, use a sponge to wet the rim, so they dried more evenly. Now I'm ready to trim. Before I trim, I also like to check the thickness of the bottom before I trim. And the thickness, the tumble stick, also checking the thickness. My invention measuring tool. It's too short to cross over and check it, so you can buy 2 ruler or 2 parallel bar or whatever, 2 wooden ball, and crossover, so you can increase the size whatever you like. Very wide platter, you can also check it, as long as you find something that is long enough to extend it, right? So basically what you do is you check the center, place this right in the center and check it. And the center and checked it. And I already checked, it's 44. And then you move this out to the side and you check from the top of the ruler, the parallel ruler to the bottom, 53. So I checked it already, and you subtract the difference from here to the bottom, okay? From the top to the center, you checked it, and from the top to the wheel head, you subtract the difference. That's the thickness. Okay, it's a very simple and easy way to know exactly how thick the bottom before you start it. Okay. And I wrote it down in case I forgot. 53 and 44, and you subtract is 9 millimeters. So the center, I know that I have 9 millimeters, and I like to trim it within 4 millimeters. Okay, so meaning I could go down 5. Okay, 5 millimeter deep, and so when I'm trimming, I can measure constantly and check it until I hit 5, and then I stop. All right, so first center. Secure the plate so it doesn't move, and then I will show you in time-lapse mode, so it will save you some time to watch it, but I show you the full process in time-lapse mode. Alright, so pretty quick time-lapse mode, so pretty quick. I trim the foot. I leave a little bit of clay in the middle and put my stamp here. And this will be the supporting, because when the base is wider, usually if you don't have a support, it's easy to sag, to slump. So that little bump here to support it, also put my name there, so I put my stamp there as a decoration, and to show you the depth that I just cut in, it's exactly 5. Okay, so meaning I have 4 millimeters here. After I remove the clay here, the clay sometimes is in the way and I won't be able to trim, so after I remove it, carefully remove it so that the whole piece still stay in the center, and just use a trimming tool to remove the clay here so that the line is more consistent with the curve here. Okay, so that's the view of how I trim the foot. So I decided to put the black slip here on the rim, and then carved inside I have a pattern. So this is the pattern I downloaded from the internet. You can find a lot of interesting pattern, and then you download it and do a little bit of enlarge or shrink, so you could get the pattern to fit your size. I enlarge it, and then I'm just going to put it here in the middle and then trace it, and then use my Sgraffito tool to carve the outline. I will show you later after I do the black slip and a little bit chatter on the rim. So the slip is different from underglazes. Slip is made out of clay, so it's the chemical compound is similar to the clay. So usually you put it on your leather hard, or maybe you don't want to put it on the bone dry clay. Okay, put it on the leather hard clay and let it dry a little bit. You don't want to chatter right away or do the carving right away. You have to get the moisture closer together with your clay body. So usually after you brush your slip, you want to do the carving, let it sit for a while, and then you come back and do the chattering or do the carving. Right, so I'm going to put chattering texture on the rim for the slip decoration. So you'll see the contrast. And then I told you I downloaded this from internet and then enlarge it. So I'm gonna trace the pattern in the middle. Make sure I have it in the center. Alright, so that's pretty good. And then I'm just use the ball pen to trace it. But it's little curved, so I have to push it. We'll start from this corner. Right, so I got it covered all the way from the beginning. So you can see that I kind of transfer the pattern on my clay. The wall is still a tiny little bit soft, so I'll wait a little bit longer, so wait until it dries a little bit further, and then I'm using my Sgraffito tool to do all the carving. So the Sgraffito tools, I have 3 different sizes: large, medium, and small. Okay, so I'll probably use the medium one to do the carving, and then maybe put some lines there. Okay, so I will show you later. Right, so after dry it maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour, a little bit drier, I'm going to use my Sgraffito tool to do all the carving, all the line decoration, to carve it a little bit deeper. And I will use the time-lapse mode so that you will save time, but you can see the whole process. Alright, so the time-lapse mode, so you will see the whole process. Took me about 30 minutes to do all the carving. It's not bad, okay, and the result looks good. And so these are the carving tools that I was using it. I used the medium one and the small one for the very fine lines. I haven't had a chance to use the larger one yet, but you get the idea. So these are the Sgraffito tools that you can pick up from my Etsy shop, etsy.com, and type in my name, Hsin-Chuen, or just search the Sgraffito tool. That it should pop out a whole bunch of them, different manufacturer, but I like my tools, and stay very sharp, and 3 different sizes. And this is the result. Sgraffito, the chattering texture, tracing the pattern, and then I use the Sgraffito tool to do all the very fine line carving. And this is the result. Looks good, and very easy to get the download. You can download it from internet. Just type in the keyword pattern. It should pop out a lot of them, and you can download it, screenshot as a copy, and then put it on the software that like Page, that you paste it in, and then you can enlarge it. Maybe in the future I'll do the video showing you how to do that. Okay, just take down the pattern and use that to trace it. It's very easy to trace it, and the result looks good. Right, hope this demonstration helped, and I will see you next time.